This is a matter that is not new, and I'm certain it is in the minds of all the honorable members of this House and the people that we represent. It has been lurking on as an issue of great concern, but it has never been brought on the floor of this august House, which I feel is the most appropriate platform where matters concerning our society should be taken up for discussion. Hence, this issue of the mushrooming of organizations, unions and associations in our state is brought today in your presence. Sir, we have a total of 7,952 registered societies, organizations, and unions, out of which 5,922 are inactive and about 2,030 societies are active and has been renewing their registration over a period of time. I am also given to understand that documents pertaining to those prior to 2013 have been misplaced and they could not retrieve the accurate numbers. But whatever is there post 2013, this is the figure we have with us. We have traveled as an infant state, and in our journey as a state for more than 60 years, we understand that any progressing society and state will encounter all types of obstacles on the negative side, on the positive sides of life. And such vices, not only mushrooming of unions and organizations, but many, many other vices must have crept into our society's way of life, unconsciously. So today, we don't stand here to blame anybody by pointing our fingers to the yesterday generations or those leaders who have held the reins of this state over immediately preceding us. It is quite natural that we learn from our mistakes. And this is one area which awakens our senses. It's a wake-up call, and in 60 plus years of statehood, it's a long time. And maybe it is the right occasion for us to take a reality check on ourselves and see how we have come along, how we are faring now, and how we will be encountering the future as a people together, more so as a state together. So here, it is only befitting for our House and the honorable members in whom our people have reposed their unflinching support in the mandates that we have received and are here today. Sir, socializing, coming together, Forming platforms, unions for association is very natural. But there's a limit to everything. And when it crosses the boundaries, it is time to put a hold on the growth and the progress of these organizations. With exception to the field of sports and in the field of music, which are professionals and become professions, whose individuals earn returns for themselves as well as the state and the nation by way of their participation. And they have to keep encountering the challenges in the world in the front of performance, because it is a recurring activity, continuous activity every year. In the field of sports, records are set every other year above the last year's. And there are cases where sportsmen fight their own records and break their own records again to perform that. So it is a continuous process, which is why it is necessary for them to continually engage in their activities, no matter what. The same goes for the field of arts and music, where humans continuously churn out new songs, new lyrics, and become the chart of the billboards continue to change in every nation and continents. So that challenge is always faced by people in these two areas, which is why they are exception and their activities must continue for the greater interest of our government, themselves, and our societies. But besides these two fields, we all have our experiences, how unions, associations, start from the Kale, almost the family level, from the Kales and the wards, then we come to the villages, it goes up to the area, to the ranges, then it comes to the areas, it comes to the district, then it comes to the state levels. So organizations are formed at all these levels. And different types of organizations are involved. It is not only the students' union to start. It is not only the youth societies. We have the women's societies also. We have the religious organizations also. We have the public organizations by way of sub-tribal, subdivisional, and sub-tribal organizations. Then we have the tribal organizations, which is the tribal apex bodies. So in this way, all these organizations and much, much more, which I will not go into details, but I'm sure you already know what I mean. Your minds are racing. Every conceivable group of people wants to associate themselves as a union, as an organization. This has been going on, and it is unstoppable. Their growth has become unstoppable. Today, they are flourishing. Every other organization has to have one organization again at a different level. That is why it has multiplied into thousands today, and we are not able to control the growth anymore. Now, if they exist and they are dormant, it is all right. But they are actively engaged at all levels, starting from the grassroots up to the state. All this line, the tribal, the students, the cultural, the religious, the public relations are all hyperactive at their own levels. And it is an annual practice for organizations to engage in activities like they need to have sessions, the executive sessions. And in most cases, they have the emergency meetings, emergency sessions. Then they have their tools, they have their campaigns, they have their exhibitions, they have their festivals, they have their symposiums and seminars, they have their general and annual conventions, all at the same time. And it is an annual practice. Now, this involves heavy expenditures. It is costing us, it is taxing us heavily on our financial resources. All members and non-members also have to extend whatever support they can to the activities of these organizations. It has become obligatory. We are not under threat, but it has become a social obligation, compulsive behavior. And the organizations take undue advantage of this. So, besides other political organizations, these social organizations have very sadly become a burden to our society today. Leaders of all walks of life at every level, officers of all departments, well-to-do citizens, business community, you name it, sir. Everybody has fallen under the scanner of these tax regimes. And so today, the expenses to manage their activities have risen tenfold from the time when we started. Life has become very expensive. And we do not know how to keep our expenditures low. We always seek for the most luxurious, the most convenient way of having our general conference, our meetings, our tours, whatever activities engaged. There's a sense of competition, false pride, false competition, false sense of competition in us. That the more we spend and the more the standard of the program papers also, the way it is conducted. The purpose is forgotten. It has taken a backseat. It is the way that we can organize it in the most expensive way, grand manner. Then people look up to it and praise them. What meeting took place, what resolution was passed, what decision was made, the effect, impacts, the consequences are become secondary. It is the way that we manage the show which counts. So, besides draining our financial resources, it's a wastage of time. The output, the product of these conventions, sessions are minimal. The input and investment is maximum in times of, in the sense of time also. How much time goes into organizing one? You think of the office bearers, sleepless nights they have, weeks together, months together, trying to organize, running around, raising funds. What about the participants? Weeks together to practice. Everything. And all the other accessories that they will require to make this a grand success. Everything goes to doubt when compared with output and the value. So, sir, I think it is time that we take up this issue and try to control our organizations, our people, educate them, teach them that we do not have so many organizations all together, again and again at the same level for the same purposes. I will cite this one. My due apologies to the students' community. But in the 40s and the 50s, our society had very few educated leaders. We could almost count the graduates and the postgraduates of those days. So they were one in all. They were the administrators. They were the political leaders. They were the educators. They were everything. Their guide. And they had played pioneering roles. If we look back to history, and they have been instrumental in many of the decisions which were taken for the better, for the greater good of our people, especially on the political angle. We give due credits to the few educated people who were instrumental in changing Naga Hills Tribal Council into Naga National Council. They have flooded it with a vision, with the best interest of our people at heart. And so on and so forth after that. Simultaneously, so many other things happened during their time. They were few, but they were very, very productive. The leaders of yesteryears were mostly student leaders. We salute them. But today, when we talk about students' union, by the grace of God, our children have done exceedingly well. That we are today one of the top 5 in the nations to have the highest literacy rate in this country. Flooding. We have to think about their accommodation. And they should be more worried about their future rather than going back to the same old routine activities as how their predecessors did. Times have changed. Times have changed. We must keep pace with time and also change along with it. Is it really necessary to have so many unions in the same tribe at different levels, starting from the village to the range, to the area, to the district, to the tribe, to the state? The same old unions again. The same goes again for all the other unions. If we have our tribal unions, be it in any aspect of life, at their tribal levels, which the government has already recognized as a scheduled tribe, or the government has already given them districts. Most of the districts, all the districts are based on the tribes. Each tribe almost has got one district each. Let us keep practicing, preserving, and promoting our tribal interests at our tribal and district levels only. We don't have to have another Chakasang Students Union Kohima, Chakasang Students Union Dimapur, Chakasang Students Union Bombay, Delhi, Shillong, Guwahati, Chakasang Students Union here and there. If we have one apex Chakasang Students Union in practice, I think that is enough. Do we need another Chakasang public organization covering the whole of Chakasang tribe? We have Chakasang public organization Kohima. We have Chakasang public organization Dimapur. Again Chakasang, this Chakasang, that. Every city that we are in India, Why do this tribal tag has to follow us everywhere that we go? I think it is time that we segregate. Keep our tribal practices, our tribal interests to that level of the district and the tribe. We have to think about Nagas. We have to start talking about the unity of Nagas. So, beside our respective tribes, I think it would like to whatever it is, the youth society, the church, the cultural, the other welfare organizations, for all tribes, for all districts should be the same. And this is something which we have to carry forward naturally our people. Honorable Sir, on the cultural front, we have cultural extravagance. We have a very rich culture. When we talk about culture, we are a world of our own. We are a world so varied, so plentiful. But of late, I think we are going overboard, a little more. Anything rare, the value goes up. It is valuable. But everything which is too available anytime, anywhere, becomes invaluable. The value goes down. I think we have started abusing our culture a little too much. We have not forgotten our culture. We practice it, we promote it, and we will continue to. It is good. But a little too much of songs, cultural dances, and in the name of those cultural occasions, a little too much of merrymaking, fanfare, feasting, where we elaborately exhibit our folk dance, folk songs, our costumes, our fineries, our ornaments. Everything is well exhibited. The world comes here out of curiosity to look at us, to see what meets the eye. And we are doing exceedingly well in that way, on that front. But sir, my emphasis here is culture is not just what meets the eye. Culture is not only what we are trying to promote as we do. The more important part is the work culture. Where have we lost it? Somewhere down the line, as we go on living as a people. All the tribes, all of us, are equally to be blamed. Where are our culture of honesty, our high moral standards, our hard-working nature, and our way of living life upright? I think we have lost all these virtues, human virtues and qualities, which are priceless. It has been given to us through thousands of years of practice from our ancestors. We are losing all these traits in just about a century, not even 100 years. The value of honesty has declined. Uprightness, hard working, it has diminished from our daily lives. These are the more valuable cultures that we need to retrieve back. And we need to practice it and teach our children about the values of human integrity, human high moral characters. The way we live today is we are more concerned on the worldly side. We are losing track of where we are going, of who we are. So it is time that we shake up and that we try to imbibe the right sense of what is culture. We have had very, very rich cultures in our lifetime. We see from historians, anthropologists who have come here, many decades back. They have written such good books about us. It is their print. Brave Nagas, gallant Nagas, honest Nagas, hard-working Nagas. We don't find any of those qualities in our present modern day Nagas. It is said we have to retrieve back these things. So, culture, we will continue, we should not forget. But while doing so, I feel that the hornbill that we have annually, why not we extend it not only for 10 days, but extend it even to 20 days. You double the period, where all tribes, all indigenous other communities also can take part. We can extend it, and we can have this occasion annually, and do it in the best way, most ground. It will involve all tribes. But besides this, Honorable Sir, I think these many hornbills, we should take a second look at it. Whether it is really very necessary for us to observe these many hornbills of each tribe each year. I feel that cultural practices, as I was saying, should be confined to the districts at the tribal level. And it is all right if we have it once in 5 years' time. That is all right, once in 5 years' time. After a child is born and the little baby grows up to be aware of the surroundings, she will encounter 5 years and see what is happening. And as they grow up, every 5 years, they can refresh their memories by saying, participating, and being a part of that culture. I think that is enough. There will be a huge saving, financial savings, and there will be savings of time too, because all these activities keep our district level leaders of all sorts, the women, the church, the students, and our officers, who should be concentrating on other areas of development in the state, in their particular districts. They are fully engaged in the preparation, the organization, in the run-up to these many hornbill occasions every year, year after year. They're not concentrating on their departments because they have been distracted. Their services are required. It is being requisitioned by the organizers. Then you think of the participants. If she is to represent, the village is more concerned. And it's a question of prestige. You have to practice well. You should look the best. And your performance should be the best. So months together, they don't go to the critics. They don't do their works. And they spend time in practicing for the great day. So likewise, each and every tribe, each and every year, if we keep on engaging ourselves like this is highly unproductive. So, sir, I feel that we have to cut down this. This year's calendar, government calendar itself, has about 96 red letter days. So in 365 days, already we have 96 days gone. How many days more are we going to have other engagements where it will be unproductive? This has to be taken into account. Sir, I know you're restless, but I, as the mover, because I have certain things in mind, I have moved this. I beg of you that you will kindly give us more time and even an extension of your announced 1 hour if necessary. This is a matter of urgent public importance.
Sir, Honorable Sir, let us confine our discussion on mushroom of union and association only, sir, this time. Please, we are short of time.
Water? Get me water. It is all connected, sir. And I can't help it. So when we speak, we have to talk about the impacts, the consequences that we are facing. And what I'm saying is all the level. Now, what we suggest, especially our church, the church is an agency and a very, very important factor for the unity of our people. The church must intervene. We appeal to the church leaders to take up this with all seriousness. We have our churches in all the tribes, in the respective districts, in all the villages. Do we really need all tribal churches in Kohima? Every tribe again has a church here. In Dimapur, every tribe has a church, again, according to the lingual tribal basis. Do we really need it? So I think in all the district headquarters, and in Kohima, the state headquarters, and in Dimapur, our commercial headquarters, in these few places, is it not proper? Will it not be proper if the church leaders arrive on a decision that we should have one big combined service for all Nagas in the medium which we understand best, which is English and Naganese? Why even in our villages, in our headquarters, in our tribal churches, we talk, speak, sing, pray in our own dialect? Again, when we stay in the state headquarters or cosmopolitan towns, in the district headquarters and a place like Dimapur, again we go to our own churches. I think this is detrimental to our unity. So instead of letting these platforms flourish like this, even the church can lead in uniting us together if they start a common service for our people. When is the time for us to meet each other from other tribes, the officers, the leaders, the business community? Is it not the church's responsibility to bind us together, to infuse unity in us? And the emotional bondage we brought out between the Naga tribes. We have to mingle with each other. We have to learn to worship together, at least as a first instance. So at least in these common grounds, why not we once for once push back our tribal, whatever tribal organizations, platforms, and other meeting points are concerned, and make it an all Nagaland platform where we can meet with each other. Like the 60 of us, the legislators have our church, and we meet almost every second Sunday of a month. How nice it is to come together every Sunday where we can meet a cross-section of people, and not only from your tribal community always. We're confining ourselves too much to our tribes. This is not good for our unity. This is a reality check. We have to take a call on where we are, how we have come so far, and what we will be in the next 50 years. And you think of the Naga associations outside of Nagaland state. Guwahati, Calcutta, Delhi, Mumbai, anywhere, Bangalore. Every tribe again has their own welfare organization. Every tribe has their own students' union. They have their own church services separately. Why is it like this? We don't create ground for our unity to grow. If we continue to be confined to our own tribal communities like this, the day for a Naganese, people of this state, Nagaland, will never come. It is time that we merge together and we see eye to eye on all fronts as a single group and not from the tribal point of view all the time. So maybe the church should take a lead in leading us towards unifying our people. Finally, sir, we are aware, and people might accuse us that we are encroaching Article 90 of the Constitution, which guarantees freedom of association. But we, Naga people, are very good at abusing anything that is given to us. You have seen the negative side of how we have taken advantage of Article 371A. In the like manner, today, if the government steps in and we talk about curtailing or restrictions, this might come up again. But we have to know that we are the people given the power to rule the states. And in this article itself, the Constitution provision states that the state shall have the powers to impose certain restrictions which are not conducive to the integrity and sovereignty of the country, but the other is on the moral. If it is not enhancing, uplifting, preserving, and promoting the moral of its citizens, then the government has to take a call. The last thing here, once again, is when our people are irresponsible in our utterances and are not mindful of the consequences that it may bear, we will face it tomorrow. Our statement of one government, one tax on the Naga national aspect is the cause of the birth of so many factions. We are creating a Frankenstein, something which we cannot control anymore. We are unmindful of our state. But when there is a bounty announced, a reward is announced on my head, another man's head, then there will be hunters, bounty hunters. What is the bounty here? The catch is that one government will be accepted, one tax will be paid. That is a commitment by our people today. How far out do we really mean it? Can we go along with that statement or not? And when a bounty has been announced, bounty hunters will be plenty. So indirectly, we are contributing to the generation, flourishment, mushrooming of these units. So let us curtail our own habits too. Thank you, sir.
It's important and most of all a little sensitive topic, and therefore I would request you to be a little generous in the time allotment. Well, in fact, I intended not to participate in this discussion because it'll appear that it's like a politics of vendetta where I am caught in a controversy, or I don't know which term you'll use it, or in the limelight because of the NFHRCC Foothill Committee statement. They have called me just a mere MLA. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm not just a mere MLA. I'm an honorable MLA, elected through the process of democratic norms, and therefore I would like to inform this House through your chair that I'm not just a mere MLA. They have also said that therefore said that no one cannot undermine or suppress the ways of the public, and if anyone intended to do so would face consequence. That was the language they have used when they issued press statement. This is quite threatening actually, but I choose not to reply because we are a leader. We should be capable of receiving any criticism. And I'm also always reminded of what Winston Churchill used to say, that you will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stone to every dog that barks. And therefore, although they have hit me below the belt, but I choose not to reply. Well, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, it's a very sensitive matter because Naga society is a very simple, but it's also a very complex society. And the civilization that we have evolved thus far is something very different from the Indian system that we have inherited and running a government. If you go back to ancient Greek society, the ancient Greek city-states, where it is said that democracy evolved from the ancient Greek city. But Naga society evolved this democracy from long before, let us say time immemorial. And our system of forming an association, our system of governing is quite different from the rest of the world. As I said, I thought not to expound on this, but since our Honorable Parliamentary Affairs Minister wished that I also participate, and he has already thrown some light on how our organization functions. There could be some differences of opinion or variations in our approach. But since it is discussion under Rule 50, which doesn't require necessarily a resolution, therefore, all this may be considered as a view from our own personal perspective. Well, Nagas are fond of political science and history. The rest, math and science, will leave it to the mainland Indians to study. For us, we focus more on political science and history. And therefore, we all are aware of various political theories propounded by Greek political philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, Rousseau, so on and so forth. One phrase which I like is about what Aristotle said: man is by nature a social animal because they cannot survive alone. He also said not only a social animal, but he also believed that humans are political animals because they have the power of speech and moral reason. So let us categorize ourselves within that parameter of a political animal, where we can speak for our people and also reason for them. Now, in the context of India, when the Article 19(1)(c) of the provision, which is a part of the Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, a fundamental rights guaranteed to the citizens to form an association and be a member of that association. Well, during the course of the debate, the founder of the chairman of the drafting committee, we all know Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he was very vocal that the citizen should be given enough opportunity, enough avenues for free speech, as well as to form an association. Well, while dwelling on this subject, I'm afraid if we are not careful, we will be construed as if we are trying to strangulate the rights of our people. And therefore, on the legal aspect, I wanted to throw light that this is a basic structure of the Indian Constitution, not only from the point of view of the chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, but 1973 judgment of the Supreme Court in the Gizavananda Paradise case, where the basic structures of the constitution cannot be easily amended even by the parliament. Such kind of stringent measures have been adopted, and these rights have been extended to the people, to each citizen, to form an association, freedom of speech, so on and so forth. So these are further strengthened by the judgment and order of the Supreme Court. If we come back to the international context, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948, also extend that particular rights of forming an association to propound their aims and objectives to the citizens. And that has been a part of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And not only that, even other organizations like International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, and International Labor Organizations conventions. So these are recognized legal provisions, enough protections have been given to the citizens to form an associations. As I say, even in the Indian context, it is provided under Article 19(1)(c) of the Indian Constitution. And therefore, our state, as a state machinery, a mechanism, a state machinery, our, of course, a little power is extended to us, but since this is a part of the fundamental rights, which the state assembly is, of course, not very competent to dwell on the amendment of the constitution. It is empowered to the parliament. So therefore, what we will try to make an attempt to contextualize in our context on this issue is how do we sensitize our people in minimizing, let us say, we cannot stop them from establishing or organizing the organizations, forming an organizations. So it is a matter of sensitizing our people, the pros and cons, the negative and positive impact of forming an organization. As far as the registered society, which our Honorable Parliamentary Affairs Minister was reading out, about how many 7,952 registered organizations. I hope the number is correct. We have to differentiate, Deputy Speaker sir. There are non-governmental organizations, NGO, that registered within the registration of cooperative societies. That is it. So most of these non-governmental organizations, NGOs, functions organized for some particular projects. We are informed that many have become, of course, non-functional, but there are quite a lot who are still in operation. But I think that the concern that we have is not on that line. That would be a little different, because it is about forming an NGO for some particular project. The officers here will know better. But what we are concerned is what our Honorable Parliamentary Affairs Minister was talking about, mushrooming of, let us say, proliferation of various associations. This is a matter of concern, of course, as I was referring to the Nagaland Foothill Road Coordination Committee. A committee itself started, threatening even an elected member, also the entire structure of the department. This is where we are going wrong. I think there should be a benchmark, an association forming for certain aims and objectives. They should focus on that instead of jumping on the government. We are also being equally elected by our people, and therefore anything that we do, anything that we plan is always in the interest and always for the welfare of our people, in as much as they think that they are also doing for the welfare of their people, of our people. So we are actually of the same wavelength of thinking process, but we are actually crossing the limit somewhere in our functioning. This is where we have to curb by way of sensitizing. But if we say that we enact a law and curb the organization. I think that while we are telling others not to jump beyond their jurisdiction, we may be also committing a mistake going beyond our jurisdiction. This is what I'm a little afraid of. And therefore, the sensitization is important unless there is a benchmark up to what extent an organization should function and up to what extent they can come in the day-to-day functioning of our society. Everything will go haywire. There will be anarchy in our society. And this is where our society will not survive. We are a very young society as a Naga family. And therefore, we should be very careful and also tell our people that, look, what we intend to do in this 14th house, the 60 members here, is not to stop you in forming the organization. But see, if it is at all not necessary, please don't do that. Because it is draining our resources, as our Honorable Minister has cited some examples. A lot of our resources are being drained out for functions which are not actually called for, not necessary at all, but because of the proliferations of organizations, even our economy as well as our daily lives are being impacted, and sometimes these people jamming in to the functioning of the government, which is a very dangerous drain for our people. Well, I don't want to go further. We have the budget speech coming up. I would like to end by what I used to, apart from reading, Honorable Deputy Speaker said, I love reading. Apart from reading, I also enjoy watching committee. And one of the committee that I've seen is our Naga boys and girls, very popular, Dreams Unlimited. They have one video, Dreams Unlimited, association pon Kurala association. I was watching that one. So one day actually itu movie to ami phal pura narrate koribo na pare olibi ki koribo le aise ko ama khan to early morning wakers association morning de chaiga na mano ko thai dia to aro chaise ama khan to itu musur ena kori thakisile ami video sa to do victims of mosquito bite association aro ekta itu khodo pagina ta kod jaisile itu talaga bajake koise to social media warriors association to last day to actually mano to aise association to stop association bon kora laga association. I think there is a lot of message in that Dreams Unlimited movie, which I think every Naga must watch that one. It's very interesting, well encouraging also the local artists in promoting our own movie. I would like to end, Deputy Speaker sir, by saying that, see, governance, yes, I know a part of the government. We are all trying our level best to deliver goods to the public, to our people. But at the moment, Naga people appears to have seen governance only in the urban areas. It is not trickling down to the rural areas. And that is also, in a way, indirectly encouraging various associations coming up to challenge the government in doing some welfare work, sometimes in a cynical way, sarcastic way, not that they have genuine concern. So such are the things to show to the government. So therefore, while trying to also change the system, I also would like to urge all of us, including me, that we must be attentive to the needs of our people, trickle down the governance to the rural areas, and ensure that only a tribal society like us, it's a very complex society, but we will not dilute the organization. As far as our hohos are concerned, it is actually a very unique institution. So the thing that we discussed today should not be misconstrued, misinterpreted, but our concern of unnecessarily mushrooming of an organization for certain benefits, to end certain needs. I think that is somewhere we are going wrong, and therefore that needs a correction, and we need to take a prompt step towards this end. Thank you very much.
I rise to give my concluding remark on the discussion of mushrooming of union and associations in Nagaland. Discussion on this, which was raised by Kenye on the Rule 50. I am happy that all the honorable members who spoke, led by Kenye, who raised the issue, their concern about our society having so many organizations. And it is also an issue for our society because any society who doesn't have an apex body and try to regulate things in their own aims, individual, group, community, and want to have the way out. Our Naga society has no kings, no rulers, no governance in our society. Only lately, when Christianity came, education came, then we have come thus far. As mentioned, the registration and the functioning under Society Registration Act 1860 is an act of Government of India. So, in Nagaland, Home Department is designated as registrar of societies under this act. Then registration to govern the Nagaland Societies Registration Act 2017. The purpose of which registration can be done in a governance by Section 20 of the Act is include charitable societies, societies established for the promotion of science literature or the fine arts for instruction, societies for the diffusion of useful knowledge, societies for the diffusion of political education, societies for the foundation or maintenance of libraries or reading rooms for general use among members or open to the public, or the societies for public museums, galleries, painting, and other works of arts, collections of natural history, mechanical and philosophical invention, instruments, or design. So when we look at these guidelines, and further, application of Act to Nagaland is governed by 3 amendments specified in the state. First amendment 1969, second is 1984, and the third amendment is 84. As per this amendment made by the state, registration required fulfilling of 10 criteria such as submission of forms, payment of fee of ₹2,000, verification report by the ESC, SDO Civil, District Planning and Development Board must recommend the state registration. Another one is validity of registration is for 2 years as per section 3A(1). And also should be renewed within 3 months of expiry. Fee renewal is 500. late fine is 2,000 rupees. The Section 23 inserted the Second Amendment Act in 1984 allows the cancellation of registration on 3 counts. Then office cases to be in Nagaland, activities are subversive to the object of the society, aims and objects. After giving opportunity to members of being heard, then registration had been wrongly obtained against provision of the Act. So all these provisions and laid down government rules had been violated in many cases, and today number of societies in Nagaland given registration date is up to date is 7,952, as some of you had mentioned. 2,064 societies have been for renewal till date. 244 societies are newly registered, that is up to 2023. And in the 17 district, the highest is Dimapur, 700 plus new registration, Kohima 471, Peg 153, Mogokchund 128, Tungsan 109. So those are above 100. And I'm not going to read the new ones. So that means those people who are seeking for their registrations also failing their duty, and verification officers or the department, when they do not come for renewal after given specific time or who are defunct, it should be cancelled. But it is only accumulating the size. And therefore, today we have so many organizations doing what they want to do. Nagaland is a tribal state. And because all the tribes have their own traditional festivals, we call Nagaland as a land of festival. But one governor told me that, no, sir, you are wrong. I will call Nagaland land of jubilees. So why? Because so many thousand societies are registered. So they will celebrate anniversaries, then silver jubilee, diamond jubilee, golden jubilee, and all kind of celebrations. Then having meeting, having conventions or activities. So as mentioned by many speakers who have said, it must be spending in terms of crores and crores of rupees. And if all this organization, if we go on celebrating on all the occasions, every village will be celebrating of some anniversaries or jubilees or some club organizations also. So this discussion is definitely very good to create awareness among the public. As mentioned, we are not here to pass a resolution or to dictate terms with anybody. But those who are not working according to the guidelines, we have to sensitize. Those who are not working according to their constitution, bylaws and objectives, we should reduce. Therefore, it is very good that this August House initiated a discussion, deliberated and creating awareness among our society. Our community is very good. I would like to advise the Home Department to go into all this detail and segregate Group A, Group B, Group C. In what category? And then what should remain and what should go? And then all these who are functioning as per their aims and objectives and their activities for the welfare of the people, as I had read out the guidelines. And if there is a clear working paper, then we can deliberate here in the House or we can deliberate in the Cabinet to take a decision. Otherwise, this open discussion will not help us, or there will be reaction. Without substance, if anything decisions to be taken also, we need substantive reasons. And therefore, I think that should be enough for the discussion. And I thank all the honorable members for speaking out your mind to create awareness in a society, particularly under Rule 50 pertaining to this mushrooming of union and association in Nagaland, raised by Honorable Member Sri Kenye, Minister. Thank you.